white nationalists, bigots, Little Englanders. These are just some of the insults hurled at over 17 million of you in this country who voted to leave the European Union. While voting to leave the EU has led to a reduction in immigration from European countries, it's actually resulted in a sharp increase in immigration from outside the EU. Now, according to the Home Office, Indian professionals accounted for the largest number of skilled visas granted last year, with 67,839, 68,000, make it a lot easier for ourselves, issued. A 14% increase from 2019. Is that what you voted for? Has taking back control of our borders meant that we can let in exactly who we want? Or are the numbers of people coming into this country still too high? What's your view? Let me know. GBviews, gbnews.uk. But joining me now to delve right into this are two expert guests. We've got Alp Mehmet, the chair of Migration Watch UK, and Dr. Rakib Ehsan, a columnist at Spiked and social policy analyst. Two esteemed guests. Goodness gracious me, it's difficult to know where to start. Alp, you can take the baton first and foremost. Are you disappointed with the way we've managed our borders post-Brexit?
The way we've managed, you said.
Well, yeah, true.
Or you should say the way we haven't managed them. Look, let me give you a quote and tell me where it came from. It's absolutely outrageous to condemn people who have concerns about one of the greatest movements of people in human history as racist. Do you know who said that? The Archbishop of Canterbury in March 2016. That's why people were concerned. They were concerned about the fact that the scale of immigration and from the EU totally uncontrolled was leading to so many hundreds of thousands of millions of people coming here. So it wasn't ever the individuals, it wasn't ever immigrants, it was the scale of immigration that concerned people.
Absolutely.
And we were promised that it was going to be controlled, and nothing of the sort has happened. That's the problem.
All right, Alp. Now, Dr. Rakib Ehsan, I'm going to throw over to you. You do a lot of work when it comes to, I suppose, the social elements of, well, society, I suppose. And I'm keen to get your view on demographics, right? Because I think when a lot of people thought, well, hey, we'll quote unquote take back control of our borders, I think people thought that meant less immigration. It may well mean, in the long run, less immigration, but it will mean more people from outside the European Union immigrating. So that does mean a variety of, let's say, you know, different demographics, I suppose, to put it that way. Do you think that's going to have an issue? Do you think people are going to actually complain about that? I know large areas of Blackburn, Burnley, Bolton, for example, they already, a lot of people anyway, a lot of people already have a bit of an issue with certain demographic changes there, Dr. Rakib.
Well, I think that when we're looking at our post-Brexit immigration system, what we're seeing is a decline in inward migration from predominantly white EU member states, and we're seeing rising levels of inward migration from English-speaking Commonwealth countries such as India, Pakistan and Nigeria. It really dispels the myth that we have a white nationalist government. That's for certain. I think that in terms of the discussion about what kinds of immigration we're seeing, we have to make the point that under the EU freedom of movement, predominantly white EU migrants were the beneficiaries of preferential treatment. And that was certainly a concern that was raised in Brexit voting areas such as Luton, Slough, Hillingdon, Osterley and Spring Grove, a ward in Hounslow, which voted 63.4% leave. It's a non-white majority ward. So I think what's really interesting is that we're seeing that Brexit voters are not necessarily a monolithic bloc when it comes to immigration. You'll have some Brexit voters who are deeply concerned by rising levels of migration from non-EU countries such as India, Pakistan, Nigeria and the Philippines, while you have more internationalists who may be relaxed about migration coming from these countries. So a number of myths are being dispelled here.
Alp, we'll throw it over back to you. Look, hey, I thought we were supposed to be having some kind of Australian-style points-based system. We're cherry-picking the best, the cream of the crop from the international community and bringing them over here to fill certain areas of our society that need filling. Is there any evidence that that's happening, Alp?
I don't think so, frankly. And you put your finger on it, actually, why it all went down well during the election. A points-based system based on the Australian one. In fact, it was nothing of the sort, but that's neither here nor there. Now, you say that more immigration is bound to come because we're no longer attracting them from the EU. Well, 2 points on that. Firstly, let's not forget that there were a lot more EU nationals here than we were given to believe. We were told there was about 3.7 million. When it came to the
yes, we were
EU
as good at counting them as Diane Abbott is
we
at counting,
actually had 6 million. And brightest and the best? I don't think so. It's the cheapest, I think, that we are after, not the brightest and the best in the least. That is my feeling.
OK, Dr. Rakib, I'll throw it back over to you. The Rwanda scheme appears to have had a bit of an impact, doesn't it? Apparently there were no channel crossings for 2 days. I'm not aware as yet, anyway, of yesterday's figures. I could be woefully out of date. We had a record day in the channel, but I think I've probably been made aware of that by now. But do you think that the Rwanda scheme is going to work as a deterrent?
Well, I think it's a possibility that it can work as a deterrent. My issue was that many people who opposed the UK-Rwanda migration partnership, they have very little to offer in terms of providing alternative arrangements, in terms of sorting out the problem of illegal channel crossings. I also feel that some of the commentary surrounding it was deeply disrespectful towards Rwanda, which is a rising African member of the Commonwealth. So I think that there's absolutely no harm in creating partnerships like this, because we had a very serious problem with the illegal channel crossings, and that was not a sustainable state of affairs. Just
on that, Rakib, sorry, just because we're a bit pressed for time, but I just want to pick you up on exactly what you've just said there. Priti Patel essentially said that some of the commentary was xenophobic, and it's a very skilled political argument. But I think there's also an element of truth in it, do you think? Do you think a lot of the so-called kind of woke liberati, as it were, are showing their true colours here? They've got a very disparaging view of Africa and, dare I say it, maybe Africans as well.
Absolutely. I think that's certainly the case among liberal left Remainers, who they have a very EU-centric view of foreign policy, and this idea that the UK is able to exercise soft power in order to strengthen its relations with non-EU countries in Asia and Africa, it's not something that it's not something that they particularly like. And I think that what we've seen with the UK-Rwanda migration partnership, I think some liberal left pro-Remain commentators, they really have shown their true colours.
Absolutely. Look, both of you, thank you very much. Alp, I'm sorry I can't give you the final word, I'm afraid. I'm getting shouted at. But thank you very much for coming on. There you go. Well, you see, you got it in anyway. Alp, thank you very much. Thank you. Alp Mehmet there, the chair of Migration Watch. Send my best to parliamentarians as well. Dr. Rakib Ehsan as well, a columnist at Spiked and social policy analyst as well.